Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a deadlift day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. And let's get over to the training. Really, it's just a posterior chain day. I may even take my reverse hypers over to squat day, right? Because I'm realizing the more I look at this, especially calories are a little lower and everything right now, I really need to be looking at what's the minimum work I need to do to make progress, right? Because when you're an advanced lifter or elite at this point, for me, again, on schedule to break some world records, it's not a case of maximizing progress. It's a case of can we make any progress without getting hurt, right? Any progress. And so even though I'm doing a lot of chins and things, really a lot of this other stuff I need to be looking at tension, the minimum reps I can do to get progress. So what I did today is what I've been keeping with my trend. We go to a heavy single. These aren't maxes. Someone already had said, then like, oh, never mind. Oh, you're going to hit 600 soon. I'm like, I've already pulled over 600 multiple times on camera. I did 625 at that event. So we went up to 550, good training max. It was pretty much what I hit. I'm a little out of breath because I just did sled drags. As soon as I finished my last set, I went and slapped my harness on, ran down and did, about 5 minutes of sled dragging to finish up. And I like to do that on my squat and deadlift days now, right? And then I'm taking time off from the sled drags. I'm trying to only do them on squat or deadlift days. I can just do my weight vest walking, and that way I'm not overworking my quads. But here's what we did today. Ran up to our heavy training max, 550. Pretty good. Everyone's like, oh, that's fast and smooth. Yeah, it should be. That's the idea. 5x5 deadlift, and I take the belt off for that just because the rep work on deadlifts I get nauseated. I don't need the belt, right? I don't need the belt for these. My core is plenty strong. I'm not worried about it. I can brace just fine. And the question becomes why strap up so I don't shred my hands up on these deadlift bars. I get plenty of grip work. All those chins, I can always add more dead hangs in, which I'm probably going to do to keep my shoulder health really good right now. I'm real happy with where my shoulder health is at the moment, so I want to continue that, but that handles my grip training. We can also overtrain our grip. Okay, we can overtrain our grip, and this is what a lot of this comes down to is overuse. Everyone thinks more. It's not necessary. You need to figure out what's your optimal range and then figure out where you need to be on that optimal range. And at this point for me, one heavy single, which again, attenuates all the upper threshold motor units, okay? It's not the same thing to do 5x5 or 5x10 fresh as it is after a heavy single. And since I'm always working the same muscles, if it's all squat muscles on squat day, all deadlift muscles on this, it's all bench muscles on bench day, even if I'm doing triceps and stuff. We've attenuated the upper threshold fibers. It's a different game if we do this other work after. So, again, we start looking at this. And as much as I love the 10x10 and 5x10s, I do think as we get older, maybe a little more tension isn't always a bad thing. Dave Tate has his own opinions on that for longevity. I think it's fascinating the way that he looks at it of saying, I don't know, can I get the same stimulus with fewer reps? Well, maybe we need to be looking at that for joints and stuff in the long term. Now I throw that out the window with chins and stuff. But I feel like I need that. And you know what? I can always do those weighted too, if I have to. But chins, and I've been doing them when you guys aren't on camera, I've been doing a lot of them dead hang, and I might start doing that in the morning to where I pause at the bottom. Right? We really want to get those tendons strong and get, in the shoulder joint and in the bicep and everything. Probably not a bad idea, especially if I want to maximize that hypertrophy. I get that stretch at the bottom. But here, 5x5 deadlifts. And you know what? I could quit right here. I don't think people realize what a heavy single followed by 5x5 on a conventional deadlift. I don't think they realize how much hypertrophic stimulus is involved. I'd grow off this, but I decided to do some hamstring work too. So I then did 5x5 glute ham raises, the ultimate hamstring builder. Okay, so what did we do with it though? I took the setting that I can handle, and I grabbed a 10-pound plate, and I did 5 sets of 5. Now, the first set was easy. But by the time we get to set 4 and 5, I'm grinding the last rep. And that's about where I knew it would be when I added that plate. So we did the deadlift work, which actually I felt more trap and lat than I did anything else. Honestly, it felt like an upper body day to me. But there is enormous posterior chain stimulus. Really, they are the primary movers. Right? They are the primary movers. But we did all that posterior chain work. So then we come through and we take an exercise which hits the hamstrings. And I feel like, I don't know, even though my hamstrings are very dominant, I feel almost when I watch where I slow on the deadlift that there could be hamstrings limiting me. That might be my limit. So let's do a glute ham raise. Do a glute ham raise. And we do them heavy now. And I'll build this up. I'll add a little more weight. I may try to go to the next hardest setting up, but I'm already on a pretty hard setting that most people can't do. But, you know, I can always add a little weight. I can add another 5 pounds. Keep working up this 5x5. A lot of tension here. It's a lot of tension here on those hamstrings, especially when you go all the way down like this. But is it working the glutes? Is it working the erectors too? Yes, because I'm, again, using a hip hinge with it too. Okay? But the number one hamstring builder, but still works the whole posterior chain. Come in double downing. And if we take the single out, which I don't think we necessarily need to take it out, but if we don't count it as a work set, well, we get 10 sets for our posterior chain. Then we look at quad stuff. You know, that's the other thing too. Quads get worked on this. Quads get worked on sled drags. I don't know that I need to be doing the squat volume that I'm doing. I could probably do the heavy single and the do 5x5 on the belt squat or a back squat if I felt like it that day. You know, that's the other thing comes up too, you know, of when I get more back work if I did the back squat. Yeah, except that I do all this deadlifting. I do 5x5 deadlifts on Friday. And then, of course, I'll do some reverse hypers on the squat day. Let's look at mitigating fatigue. You know, even here with this today, there's traction. But I don't mind so much on a Friday. Maybe the squat day starting my week off, I need a little more traction. Maybe that's where we need to throw the reverse hypers. But I decided not to do them today because I'm looking at it as how much stimulus did I get? Is my posterior chain, is it in the optimal hypertrophy zone off these sets I just did? Yes. It's at the lower end of the optimal range. That should be enough, especially when I'm not bulking. Trying to slowly trim down that body fat. And I'm running ultra high protein. So people are like, well, I'm not even doing hardcore keto at the moment. I'm probably 50% protein right now. But at my stage in the game, that may recomposition a little bit. So we need to look at it that way. Can we get bigger and leaner? And that means mitigating fatigue from the training. Hey, those deadlifts are hard enough. We do this and we finish the posterior chain. If I do any more, I'll be cramping later. So maybe I don't need to do more. And then I did the sled drags after. We go ahead and get that. Any real volume we're going to get then from that. Sled drags keep the quads growing. Get my GPP up. And call it a day. So I did that immediately after finishing the workout before I even did this voiceover. But that's a pretty brutally effective workout. It's pretty close to optimal. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.